7 patterns that keep you broke. Warren Buffett is worth $118 billion and still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Meanwhile, 70% of lottery winners go broke within 5 years. Same money access, opposite outcomes. After studying 11,000 millionaires over 30 years, researcher Thomas Stanley discovered it's not about how much you make. It's about 7 invisible patterns that determine whether money flows to you or through you. Today, we decode all 7. Which pattern is draining you? Everything you're about to hear comes from 3 sources. Thomas Stanley's 30-year study of actual millionaires, the Federal Reserve's wealth tracking data, and documented behaviors of billionaires who started from nothing.
Exclusive to True Tongues.
Pattern 1. Where your hours actually go. The average American watches 4.3 hours of TV daily. Thomas Stanley found millionaires watch 1 hour. That's not a judgment, it's a 3-hour daily gap. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Oprah built a media empire on book clubs. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by reading. Meanwhile, most people can name every character on their favorite show, but haven't finished a book since high school. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your time is already being spent. The only question is on what? If you're watching reality TV about rich people instead of learning what made them rich, you've chosen entertainment over evolution. The wealthy don't have more time. They just value it differently. Pattern 2. The 5-person rule. Harvard tracked 12,000 people for 32 years and discovered your behaviors, including money habits, spread through your friend group like a virus. Jim Rohn said you're the average of your 5 closest friends. The research proves he was right. Here's what this looks like in real life. If your friends say, "Money doesn't buy happiness," or "rich people are greedy," you'll unconsciously sabotage opportunities to avoid outgrowing the tribe. Mark Cuban openly talks about leaving his poker buddies in his 20s to hang around entrepreneurs, even though it felt lonely. Sarah Blakely, Spanx billionaire, said the hardest part wasn't building the business. It was distancing herself from friends who called her crazy. You don't need to cut people off. But if everyone around you is broke and comfortable with it, you're swimming against a current. Your network equals your net worth. Pattern 3. The blame test. Psychologists have a term, locus of control. Do you believe you control your outcomes, or that outside forces control you external? Thomas Stanley surveyed thousands of millionaires. 85% strongly agreed. I am responsible for my financial situation. Only 31% of the general population said the same. That's not confidence. That's ownership. Oprah grew up in rural poverty, abused, no advantages. Her quote, "I don't think of myself as a poor girl who made good. I knew from early on I was responsible for myself." Most people wait for the economy to fix itself, for their boss to recognize them, for the system to be fair. The wealthy ask, "What can I control right now?" One mindset waits for rescue. The other builds the boat. Pattern 4. What you borrow money for. The average American has a $40,000 car loan at 7% interest. By the time it's paid off, they've spent $48,000 on something now worth $22,000. That's a $26,000 loss. Meanwhile, 80% of millionaires have never financed a luxury car. Mark Zuckerberg, worth $177 billion, drove a $30,000 Honda until 2014. The pattern is simple. Poor people borrow for things that lose value: cars, TVs, vacations. Wealthy people borrow for things that make money, real estate, businesses, education that increases income. Grant Cardone teaches, only use debt if it produces more cash than it costs. If you're paying interest on a couch, you're renting your own furniture from a bank. Consumption versus creation. Pattern 5. When you start matters. The average American wakes up at 7:20 a.m. Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, 4:30 a.m. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, 4 a.m. That's a 3-hour head start before the world demands your attention. Neuroscience shows your brain is sharpest in the first 3 hours after waking. That's when Buffett reads, when Bezos makes big decisions, when Schultz Starbucks works out. You don't need to become a morning person, but if you're waking up rushed, immediately checking your phone, and reacting to everyone else's agenda, you're not running your day. Your day is running you. The wealthy buy back their mornings. The rest sell them to notifications. Pattern 6. The coupon trap. Ramit Sethi analyzed 10,000 people and found those spending 10+ hours a month on extreme bargain hunting earned 23% less than those who used that time building skills. Here's why. When you're obsessed with saving pennies, your brain is in scarcity mode. Harvard research shows scarcity literally reduces your IQ by 13 points when making decisions. You can't think about opportunities when you're thinking about coupons. Thomas Stanley found millionaires spend 8 hours a month planning investments. The average person spends 2 hours. Sarah Blakely said, I never tried to save my way to wealth. I focused on creating something valuable. The wealthy ask, how do I make more? The broke ask, how do I spend less? Both matter, but one expands your world, the other shrinks it. Pattern 7. Starters versus studiers. Out of 331 million Americans, only 543,000 started a business last year. That's 0.16%. Everyone else is getting ready. Jeff Bezos started Amazon in a garage at 30. Vera Wang entered fashion at 40. Colonel Sanders started KFC at 62. None of them waited for perfect conditions. Harvard studied creative professionals for 15 years and found the biggest motivator wasn't talent or resources, it was making progress, even tiny steps. Meanwhile, 95% of people admit to chronic procrastination, waiting for the right time. Here's the truth. Every business that never started has already failed. You don't need perfection. You need momentum. 7 patterns, all documented, all in your control. You don't need money to change these. You don't need permission. You just need awareness. 61% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, not because they don't work hard, but because they're running the wrong program. If even one of these patterns described you, write, I own this, in the comments. Not as motivation, as accountability. This is True Tongs. We don't sell you dreams. We show you the architecture of reality. Subscribe if you're done guessing.